So let's go into the next scene, which they go to Aunt May's house, which is a logical decision. And this scene has like a lot of emotional. It's going to be an emotional scene because Aunt May is going to see Peter as a 40-year-old, and Peter just died yesterday and he was 26. Like, that's gotta do a number on Aunt May. Like, that's not, she's gonna react in a way. And so, and also for Peter, I think that Peter buried Aunt May, or Peter's Aunt May died too. So it's like, I haven't seen my aunt in a while. Basically his mom. And so it's like it's an emotional scene, and I think this was a very inappropriate scene to be telling jokes in, because they ring the doorbell. Aunt May comes out with a baseball bat, being like, get out of here," or "nice to visit," and then it sees Peter and is like, "Oh my gosh, it's Peter." And so she comes out, and it kind of starts to hint at that emotional scene where it's like, "Oh my gosh." And he's like, "What? Oh my gosh, you're older," which is not an insult. It's like she's seeing how her son would have, or how her nephew would have been if he didn't die. And so he's like, "Whoa, you're older." And then she immediately was like, "And fatter. And is that sweatpants?" And then it cuts to Gwen Stacy, and Gwen says, "Yeah, that's where those are." It's not funny. It's not a place to put a joke, writers. This is her. Okay. Basically, her son died, right? Like, she's raised this kid. It's her adopted son, basically, and he died yesterday. That's not when you go, "Oh, LOL, you're fat now." No, it's out of place. It's wrong and stupid and not funny, and ruins the emotional value of this scene. So they completely ruined the scene. I didn't really notice this at first when I first watched it. I think I just laughed at the joke because, the animation was funny and the delivery was humorous, but freaking wrong. Wrong. Stop doing this, writers. Stop doing this. Tell a joke when it's appropriate to tell a joke. Okay? Stop undercutting a dramatic scene with a joke. Have a dramatic scene happen and then cut to a humorous scene if you want to. Don't mix them together. Jeez. I know that some people feel uncomfortable about don't try to cater to people that are like, "Oh, I'm uncomfortable about drama. I don't want to watch this dramatic scene." It's a dramatic scene. Sit through it. It'll get funny later. Don't try to be like, "Oh, let's make everybody feel comfortable." Anyway, it's just a frustrating thing. It actually started with Guardians of the Galaxy, which worked really well in the first one. It was kind of annoying to see it in the second one, and now it's just every single film, every superhero film since then has done that. Comedies don't do that. Like, if you straight up watch The Office, if there's a dramatic scene, do you think people are joking during that scene? I mean, someone could pull up a scene where that happens, but like, not typically. If there's something poignant happening between like Jim and Pam, or even like Dwight and Jim, like, it's serious, Like, there's scenes where characters cry and it just holds on it, and that's in a comedy. So, geez, come on, guys. Anyway. Let's see, where are we at? So at this point, I was like, that's when I realized that I couldn't make the video about Across the Spider-Verse. I needed to make this video. because there's too much to say about it. You know, I wasn't aware of these problems when I first watched it, but I just wanted to point this out. That doesn't make this movie a bad film. For me, it turned this great film into a good film. It did knock it down from the number one Spider-Man film, in my opinion, down to like my number two favorite Spider-Man film. Okay, so moving on. And there's some more problems when it comes to comedy ruining drama and characters. Ruining? Did I say ruining? Ruining? Anyway, my brain kind of had a hiccup there. So let's move on to Aunt May takes the spider people to, the kind of bat cave, the Spider-Man bat cave, and Peter B. Parker kind of expresses like, "Oh yeah, it's a shed where you keep your stuff. That's fine. Like I got the same thing." And then it's revealed that this Spider-Man was like, was able to be financially successful, or had a friend that was helping him, and so he had like this very lavish bat cave almost. And Spider-Man is kind of jealous, and he's looking at it, and it's a funny idea that he would be jealous, and I'm okay with him making jokes about that, but like there's a point where he says like, "I actually feel sad for this guy. This guy's pretentious. He died yesterday, and his aunt is standing right there. This is not a funny joke. This is something that a good person would never say near, like, okay, have the people who, sometimes it feels like people that write films have never experienced someone close to them dying. Like, and it's like dying is like a fictional, like, thing that they only really imagine in what's it called? Yeah, it's a phenomenon that is not experienced, but anyway, it's just like someone who has lost someone close to them would never write a scene like this. This is too inappropriate. This is ridiculous. So anyway, it's like, "Oh, you're mad about jokes?" And it's like, dude, you can make a joke, but like comedians tour with jokes, and they write jokes, and they tell jokes, and they go to different clubs, and they figure out how to make a joke funny. And so if this joke was told by a comedian, and also it's not just a stand-up joke, it's not like stand-up comedy joke, because you can joke about death. You can totally joke about death in stand-up and it'd be funny. But this is a story. Like, this is a story with characters that you're joking about a circumstance that all the other characters around you. Anyway, it's just not appropriate. Like, everybody that was like, he should say that, and Miles will turn around, who witnessed the death. That's another part I didn't even think about. Miles should whip around and be like, "Hey, I saw that guy die, and he was a nice person." And then Aunt May should be just crying, and Gwen should just be like staring at him disgustedly. Like, why would you say that, dude? Read the room. Anyway, so I've had enough of that. Let's move on. Let's see. But yeah, don't call a dead person pretentious and that you feel bad for them.